Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're heading over to England, a place you've been curious about. Bromley. You've sent us a whole bunch of articles and notes about it. And just glancing through them, I gotta say, Bromley seems like more than just a dot on the map. We're lucky to have an expert here who can help us unpack all of this.
It's great to be here. Bromley's a place that's close to my heart, and I'm always happy to share its unique story.
Well, I'm ready to learn. I think many people, myself included, might recognize the name Bromley, but couldn't tell you much about it. So let's start with the basics. Where did Bromley come from? What were its humble beginnings like?
You're right, Bromley often flies under the radar, but it has a long and layered history. The name itself, Bromley, in its earliest form, tells us a bit about its origins. It means woodland clearing where broom grows. It paints a picture of a simple, almost idyllic setting in the woods. Imagine a clearing awash in the vibrant yellow of broom flowers. That's where this bustling town we know today took root.
From a quiet clearing to a bustling town. That's quite a transformation. What were some of the key events or influences that shaped Bromley's early development?
One of the earliest and most significant influences was the church. Specifically, Bromley became closely tied to the See of Rochester, a powerful ecclesiastical authority in medieval England. To give you an idea of the See's reach, it encompassed a huge swath of land, from South London all the way to the Thames estuary. So when King Ethelbert of Kent granted land to form the Manor of Bromley in 862, it was essentially placing the town under the See's influence.
So right from the start, Bromley's fate was intertwined with the church's power.
Exactly. And that connection deepened in 1185 when Gilbert Glanville, the Bishop of Rochester at the time, decided to build Bromley Palace. This wasn't just any residence, it was a statement of the church's presence and authority in the area.
Wow, a palace. Makes you wonder what life was like back then with the bishop holding court in Bromley.
It was a different world for sure. You have to remember, pilgrimages were a big deal in medieval England, and Bromley even had its own attraction for the devout. St. Blaise's Well. People believed its waters had healing properties, drawing pilgrims from far and wide. So you had this fascinating mix of religious authority, local life, and spiritual seekers converging in Bromley.
Okay, so we have this picture of a town deeply rooted in the church's influence, even drawing in pilgrims seeking healing. How did Bromley transition from this almost spiritual setting to the more metropolitan area we know today?
Well, like many towns in England, Bromley experienced a dramatic shift in the 19th century, thanks to a technological marvel, the arrival of the railway in 1858.
Ah, the railway. The great connector, as they say. I can imagine that had a huge impact.
It was a game changer. Suddenly, Bromley, this once quiet village on the outskirts of London, was directly connected to the heart of the bustling city. This opened up all sorts of possibilities. People could now live in Bromley, enjoy a more peaceful setting, and easily commute to London for work.
So it became a desirable suburb for those seeking a balance between city life and a quieter home environment.
Precisely. And to accommodate this influx of London commuters, new suburban areas like Bickley sprung up, specifically designed for this new way of life. It was a period of rapid growth and change. And the effects are still visible in Bromley's layout and character today.
It's amazing how a single technological advancement can have such a ripple effect, transforming not just the physical landscape, but the entire social fabric of a place.
It's true. And this transformation didn't stop there. Today, Bromley is a major metropolitan center in its own right. It boasts a thriving economy and has even earned a reputation as a sought-after shopping destination. In fact, in 2018, Bromley had one of the highest gross disposable household incomes in the entire UK.
Wow, that's impressive. From a humble woodland clearing to a high-income hub, that's quite a journey. I'm guessing the shopping scene plays a significant role in that economic success.
Absolutely. Bromley's retail scene is a major draw. We're talking about a mix of bustling high streets, modern shopping centers, and a variety of retailers catering to all sorts of tastes.
Okay, color me intrigued. Let's break it down a bit. What are some of these Bromley shopping hotspots? I'm picturing, like, quaint little shops alongside big-name brands.
You got it. You'll find that mix on the Bromley High Street. It's a vibrant blend of independent shops where you can discover unique finds and, of course, well-known brands for familiar favorites. And then there's the Glades, Bromley's iconic shopping center.
Ah, yes. The Glades. I've heard of it. What makes it so special?
It's huge, for one thing. Think multiple levels, a vast array of retailers, and a catchment area that draws in over 1 million shoppers. You can find just about anything there, From high street fashion staples like Gap and Oasis to specialized bookstores like Waterstones.
A book lover's paradise tucked inside a shopping mall. I love it. And of course, all that shopping works up an appetite. Are there good places to eat in the Glades as well?
Of course. The Glades has a diverse selection of restaurants so you can refuel after a busy day of shopping. They've even got a branch of Belgo, those popular Belgian-themed restaurants.
Okay, so we've got modern shopping covered. But earlier, you mentioned a charter market. That sounds like a step back in time. Tell me more about that.
The Bromley Charter Market is a true gem, and it speaks to Bromley's ability to embrace both its rich history and modern developments. Imagine this, a market that's been operating for centuries, right there on the high street.
Centuries. Wow, that's older than my country.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? The roots of the Bromley Charter Market go all the way back to the 13th century. King John granted the first charter in 1205, allowing a market to be held every Tuesday. Later, in 1447, Henry VI revised the charter, changing the market day to Thursday. And guess what? It's still running today.
That's incredible. So while Bromley is this bustling modern town, it's also holding on to these vibrant pieces of its past. What kind of things can you find at the market these days?
It's a real mix, reflecting the diversity of Bromley itself. You'll find stalls overflowing with fresh produce, delicious confectionery, clothing, jewelry, and much more. It's a great place to soak up the local atmosphere and discover hidden treasures. You can experience it 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
A real slice of Bromley life. Okay, so now that I'm picturing myself strolling through the market and exploring all those shops, how do people actually get around in Bromley? Is it easy to navigate?
You'll be happy to hear that transportation in Bromley is quite convenient, thanks in large part to those railway lines that sparked its transformation in the 19th century.
Ah, the railway comes full circle.
Exactly. Bromley is served by 2 main rail stations, Bromley South and Bromley North.
2 stations. What's the difference?
Bromley South is the larger station, offering national rail services to a wide range of destinations. You can easily get to places like London Victoria, Orpington, Sevenoaks, even as far as Ashford International. Bromley North is a bit smaller and provides a shuttle service to Grove Park, where you can connect to lines heading towards central London.
So whether you're commuting into London for work or exploring other parts of Kent, you're well connected. What about getting around within Bromley itself?
No worries there. In addition to the train lines, Bromley has an extensive London buses network. You'll find routes connecting to nearby areas, like Eltham, Grove Park, Hayes, Lewisham, Orpington, and many more. It's a comprehensive and affordable way to navigate Bromley and its surroundings.
Okay, so we've got history, shopping, and transportation covered. I'm curious about the cultural side of things. What does Bromley offer for those seeking entertainment or, artistic experiences? I'm getting a sense that this town is full of surprises.
You're definitely picking up on that. Bromley's cultural scene is vibrant and diverse, and it might just surprise you. For starters, they have an annual festival that's been running since 1929, which is almost a century of continuous creative energy.
Wow, 1929. That's quite a legacy. What kind of festival is it?
It's a wonderful mix of dance, drama, and comedy, showcasing a wide range of talent and artistic expressions. And more recently, they've added the South London Film Festival to the mix, further diversifying the cultural offerings.
Okay, so there are festivals for film buffs and those who enjoy live performance. What about on a regular day? Are there theaters or cinemas in Bromley?
Absolutely. In the town center itself, you'll find 3 main theaters: the professional Churchill Theatre, the amateur Bromley Little Theatre, and a unique outdoor amphitheater nestled in Church House Gardens.
An outdoor amphitheater. That sounds magical. Tell me more about the Churchill Theatre. Is it like a historic landmark or a more modern venue?
The Churchill Theatre is relatively modern, actually. It was opened in 1977 by Prince Charles and has a seating capacity of 781. It operates as both a receiving and producing house, meaning it hosts touring productions as well as develops its own shows, some of which have even transferred to London's West End.
So you could potentially catch a Broadway-bound show right here in Bromley. That's impressive.
And for film lovers, Bromley also has a picture house cinema, known for its curated selection of independent and art house films.
I love picture house cinemas.
Yeah.
They always have such a unique and thought-provoking selection. When did the Bromley Picture House open?
It's relatively new, having opened in 2019. It's quickly become a favorite spot for film enthusiasts, adding yet another dimension to Bromley's cultural landscape.
So we've got festivals, theaters, a cinema. Anything else we should know about Bromley's cultural scene?
Well, we can't forget about literature. Bromley has some fascinating literary connections, most notably with the renowned science fiction author H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells. The War of the Worlds, The Time Machine, those are classics. Wait, what's his connection to Bromley?
H.G. Wells was born in Bromley in 1866 and spent his early years there. He even attended a local academy, Thomas Morley's Bromley Academy, located right on the high street. It's incredible to think that such a visionary writer walked those same streets.
It really adds a layer of depth to the town. Knowing that someone like H.G. Wells was shaped by its environment, I bet they're quite proud of that connection.
They are. There used to be an H.G. Wells Center in Bromley, and there's a wall painting honoring him in Market Square. But here's a funny twist to the story. H.G. Wells actually refused the freedom of Bromley.
He refused. Why would he do that? It seems like a real honor.
Well, it seems he had a rather dry sense of humor about it. He compared the freedom of Bromley to the freedoms of the City of London and the City of Brussels, both of which he had accepted, implying that he didn't quite see them as being in the same league. He even described Bromley in one of his novels as a morbid sprawl of population.
Ouch, that's a bit of a burn. It seems like he had a complicated relationship with his hometown.
It does seem that way. But despite his somewhat harsh words, his connection to Bromley remains a significant part of the town's history and literary legacy.
It's all part of the story. Well, Bromley can't hold it against him. He did give us some incredible works of literature. So we've got H.G. Wells. Are there any other notable figures connected to Bromley?
Oh, absolutely. In the literary world, you also have Enid Blyton, the beloved children's author, and Captain W.E. Johns, who penned the Biggles Adventures.
Those are some heavy hitters in the world of children's literature. Anyone else?
Let's see, there's David Nobbs, the humorist behind the fall and rise of Reginald Perrin, and David Bowie, the iconic musician, also lived in Bromley for a time.
David Bowie. Seriously. The cultural connections just keep getting more interesting.
It's true. And if we jump from music legends to the punk rock scene, even members of the Sex Pistols were part of the Bromley contingent.
Wait, the Bromley contingent? What's that?
The Bromley contingent was a group of devoted fans who followed the Sex Pistols religiously, and they actually played a significant role in popularizing the punk movement. They were known for their distinctive style and their unwavering dedication to the band and the punk ethos. It's a fascinating example of how a group of individuals from a seemingly ordinary town can have a major impact on a global cultural phenomenon.
Wow, that's incredible. Bromley and punk rock? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So from bishops to literary giants to punk rockers, Bromley has seen it all.
It really has, and we're just scratching the surface here. There's still so much to uncover about this fascinating town.
My mind is officially blown. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've explored Bromley's humble beginnings as a woodland clearing, its deep ties to the church, the transformative impact of the railway, the bustling shopping scene, the historic churches, the literary legacy of H.G. Wells, the punk rock connections, and even those hilarious Monty Python references. What's left to uncover?
Well, next, we can delve into some of Bromley's more specific landmarks and historical points of interest. Would you like to hear about the parish churches of St. Peter and St. Paul and St. Mark's?
Absolutely. I'm eager to learn more about Bromley's architectural and religious heritage. Tell me everything.
Let's start with St. Peter and St. Paul's, the parish church. It has a long history, dating back to the medieval period, but its story is also intertwined with Bromley's experience during World War II.
World War II, that's a bit unexpected. What happened?
Well, during the Blitz, Bromley, like many towns in England, was targeted by German bombing raids. On April 16, 1941, a raid caused significant damage to St. Peter and St. Paul's. A large part of the church was destroyed, which is a tragic loss, but thankfully the medieval tower survived.
It's heartbreaking to imagine the destruction, but at least that piece of history remained.
It was a symbol of resilience, and it was incorporated into the rebuilt church in the 1950s. They even reused as much of the original flint and stone fragments as possible, so while it's a reconstruction, it still carries echoes of its past.
It's almost like a phoenix rising from the ashes, a testament to the town spirit. Now, what about St. Mark's? You mentioned it earlier.
St. Mark's is another parish church in Bromley, and its story is equally fascinating. The current building is actually the third church to stand on that site. The first was a temporary iron church, erected in 1884 to accommodate Bromley's growing population.
An iron church, that's quite unusual.
It was, but it served its purpose until the second, more permanent church was built in 1898. This one was designed in the Perpendicular Gothic style, a grand structure with a tower that wasn't actually finished until 1904.
So two churches built in relatively quick succession. What prompted the need for the second one?
Again, it was Bromley's growth and changing demographics. The town was evolving rapidly, and the need for a larger, more permanent place of worship reflected that.
It's a reminder that even these seemingly timeless structures are often responses to the shifting needs of a community. So what happened to the second church?
Sadly, it also suffered damage during the Blitz, just like St. Peter and St. Paul's. The bombing was severe, and only the tower remained intact.
It seems like Bromley's churches really bore the brunt of the wartime attacks.
They did. But, like St. Peter and St. Paul's, St. Mark's was also rebuilt after the war, incorporating the original tower and some of the remaining fabric. The Duchess of Kent laid the foundation stone for the present church in 1952.
These stories of destruction and rebuilding are incredibly powerful. They speak volumes about the resilience of the people and their determination to preserve their heritage. Is there anything else noteworthy about St. Mark's?
There's an interesting detail inside. You'll find monuments dedicated to Samuel Ajayi Crowther, John Cole Pattison, and Vidanagam Samuel Azariah, all of whom were bishops in the Commonwealth.
It's a reminder of the church's global reach, connecting Bromley to a wider world.
Exactly. These churches offer glimpses into Bromley's spiritual life, its wartime experiences, and its connection to the wider Anglican community.
We've talked about Bromley's past, but what about its present? Who are some of the notable residents who call Bromley home today?
Well, for one, you have comedian Chris Addison, known for his sharp wit and appearances on shows like Mock the Week and The Thick of It. He's a Bromley resident.
Oh, I love Chris Addison. His humor is brilliant. Anyone else?
Bromley is also home to Emma Raducanu, the professional tennis player who made history by winning the U.S. Open in 2021.
Emma Raducanu. What an incredible accomplishment. It's amazing to think that a Grand Slam champion lives in Bromley.
From literary giants to comedic talents and sporting champions, Bromley seems to attract a diverse range of individuals.
And let's not forget those quirky connections to Monty Python and punk rock. We can't leave those out of Bromley's story.
Absolutely. Speaking of Monty Python, did you know that Bromley was mentioned in their iconic Spam sketch?
Now that you mention it, I think I do recall something about a green midget cafe where everything on the menu is made with Spam.
You got it. It's a fictional cafe, of course. But the mention of Bromley adds a layer of absurdity to the sketch.
Classic Monty Python. Are there any other fun facts or tidbits associated with Bromley that we haven't covered yet?
Well, there's another Monty Python sketch that claims all 7 continents are visible from the top of the Kentish Times building in Bromley, which is geographically impossible, of course, but it's a fun little anecdote.
I love their playful take on Bromley. It's clear they had a bit of fun with the town.
And then there's the story of the Bromley Boys, a group of devoted fans who followed Bromley Football Club in the late 1960s and early 1970s. They were known for their unwavering support, even when the team wasn't performing particularly well.
It's a heartwarming story of local pride and dedication.
Their story even inspired a humorous film in 2018 called The Bromley Boys, which was set in Bromley and featured scenes filmed locally.
So Bromley has made it to the big screen. What about Bromley Football Club today? Are they still a source of local pride?
They are. In fact, Bromley Football Club achieved a significant milestone in 2024. They were promoted from the National League to League Two, making them the only professional football team in Bromley.
That's fantastic news. I bet the town is buzzing with excitement.
From a small clearing to a bustling town with a professional football team, Bromley's journey is a testament to its adaptability and resilience.
It's incredible how much we've uncovered about Bromley today. I feel like I've been on a whirlwind tour through its history, culture, and even its sense of humor.
It's been a pleasure sharing Bromley's story with you. It truly is a town full of surprises.
To our listener who sent us all this fascinating material about Bromley, thank you for inspiring this deep dive. I hope you've enjoyed learning about this unique town as much as we have.
Bromley might not be the first place that comes to mind when you think of England, but as we've seen, it has a rich tapestry of history, culture, and fascinating characters.
And it's a reminder that every place, no matter how seemingly ordinary, has a story waiting to be told.
If you could travel back in time and visit Bromley at any point in its history, which era would you choose? Would it be the medieval period, with the bishop holding court at Bromley Palace, the arrival of the railway in 1858 ushering in a new era? Or perhaps you'd want to experience the punk rock scene of the 1970s, with the Bromley contingent leading the way.
It's a fascinating thought experiment. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.